Dan, I gotta say, before I lived here on the beautiful Central Coast, I lived in Modesto and, Santa Cruz, Monterey, one of my favorite places to visit and, so much to do for all of our tourists and out-of-town visitors.
Seems like you made the right move.
I feel like I have. Really appreciate it here, taking it all in while I can.
No offense to the Central Valley.
Yes.
I mean, if you had an ocean and cooler summer temperatures and less air pollution, and I mean, things would be looking up for you. But as it stands, I mean, you're still wonderful. Anyway,
Thank you.
Here's a live look from our Domenico's on the Wharf camera. We're looking off in Monterey across the harbor, off toward the airport this evening as we take in this Friday night. Hope you're all having a wonderful one out there. Weekend is upon you, probably, unless you're us, we're working, but some of us will be here tomorrow as well, having fun. But we took some time off. We had a little break, so we're filling in because we're just. That's what we do. Anyway, who cares about us? Here's a live look. We talked about that. Looks nice out there. We do have some low clouds late this evening. Weather system approaching from the north. Clouds thick on the south side of the bay. Still clear on the north side. Will this weather system give us any rain? We're going to answer that question in a moment. But I did want to get to the drought update. We did have some new information for you this week. And as we take a look at the numbers right now across the state, we see that 58% of the state is considered to be abnormally dry. That doesn't necessarily mean drought. We actually consider moderate drought the lowest level of drought, so that's only 40% of the state in drought. It includes portions of the Central Valley, maybe even tickling Modesto, maybe not quite, close to it looks like, and then across Southern California, which didn't get much rain this winter. So as we take a look at areas that did see some change this week, we saw a reduction in drought levels in far southeastern California. That is because we had some heavier thunderstorms last week in those locations, so that helps out. But we also noticed this pink area where drought levels increased, and that brought us into abnormally dry conditions across southern Monterey and San Benito counties. So that was added, and I actually would not be surprised to see that yellow color all the way to the coast in Big Sur, considering the Big Sur is still only like 60 to 70% of the normal annual rainfall this year. No drought locally, technically, but we're a little dry. That's okay. As we look at our forecast overnight tonight, clouds will be on the thickening side. Breezy conditions slowly dying off. A little bit of drizzle possible on the south and east sides of the bay. Those lows going to stay in the 50s. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:58 a.m. We are tracking another weather system coming through. That's going to kick up the winds and cool us down quite a bit. Many areas dropping about 10 degrees tomorrow, especially inland. On the coast, only a couple of degrees. But here's what it looks like on future track overnight. Low clouds filling up the valleys into the bay and maybe producing a little bit of drizzle on the south and east sides of the bay tomorrow morning. It certainly will be possible. I don't think it's going to be a big drizzle event, but you might see a couple spritzes and drizzles out there. Rest of the day tomorrow, partly cloudy and kind of blustery with those northwest winds coming in. Winds will pick up tomorrow afternoon again. We're going to call it mostly to partly cloudy throughout the afternoon, maybe partial clearing by tomorrow evening, but cooler certainly. Let's get to some of those temperatures. We'll show those in a moment. I do want to mention the model is showing some accumulating precipitation tomorrow morning. I think it's really overdoing it. I think if we get 1/100 of an inch somewhere, that would be lucky. So don't get too excited about it, but you might get a little drizzle, as I mentioned, tomorrow morning. Now let's get to those temperatures. If you watched our 10 o'clock show, these are updated numbers, so they may look a little different to you. As I look at my final forecast numbers tonight. 60s, Santa Cruz, Capitola, Santa Cruz Mountain, 60s tomorrow. Certainly cool for this time of year, and definitely about 10 degrees cooler than today in the mountains. On the east shore of the bay, how about 50s in Marina and Castroville tomorrow? Low 60s in Salinas, although we do find some slightly warmer temperatures to the north, 71 in Gilroy, for example, tomorrow afternoon. On over to the peninsula, not a warm one tomorrow. Upper 50s to around 60 degrees. Clouds, winds off the water, chilly temps for this time of year. And down south, we do have a few spots in the 70s, but those were spots that were in the 80s today. So certainly cooler, and even places like Carmel Valley, kind of chilly tomorrow, 62 degrees. 7-day forecast, coastal cities showing temps bumping up Sunday and then Monday. In fact, most of next week, high pressure building in, bringing the warmth. Mostly sunny skies, windy conditions occasionally, however, along the coast. As we look at our inland forecast, temperatures also jumping up about 20 degrees between tomorrow and Monday. So the heat will be back tomorrow if you like those cooler temperatures, or if you have some of those outdoor chores you like to do inland and you can't deal with it on a hot day. Tomorrow's that day to get it done, but you may be dealing with a little bit on the wind. Austin?
Definitely good to know. Thank you so much, Dan.